we did many things, if we remember back, just for refreshing our knowledge. So first of all, our job was to create something which is close to reality. In the case of the European star of launch vehicle, so this is Ariane 6, or at least something which emulates Ariane 6 and all its parameters, both in case of engineering, both in case of financials, and we were able to see that, okay, this is the proposed launch vehicle, which is supposed to be the same, and also this is the related plan for profit and loss statement, and also the planned balance sheet. Based on this, in the future we will do the valuation. Then the next step was that we check that what happens if somehow we are able to land the first stage at least. So we will have this cost which is recoverable, and then we don't have to manufacture this first stage 10 times. Only all this 21 million euros must be spent for each launch. So in this case we can cut down drastically our launch fees and also the prices. And what matters the most obviously is the profit and loss statement, because in this case we can realize revenues, but we can realize way lower costs because of lower manufacturing demand. So that was the first part. And after that, this is when we started our experiment, because according to market rumors, SpaceX will have an IPO this year, and then it would be really funny to see how can we utilize all this knowledge about this specific industry to see that, or at least estimate some kind of a fair price for the share. And after that, it will be really funny to see that what will be the IPO price. Later on during this semester, we will learn about this procedure, or what kind of procedures are available for us to be listed on the stock market or to be funded by private investors. So, and we will see it also within this industry and in general. And that's why we have to understand the different product lines, because so far we had only one rocket design, but we are launching, recovering, and being happy with that. In the case of SpaceX, we have one steady design, the workhorse of the industry, which practically flies more, or already have way more flights than everything else on the planet. So this is the most used rocket platform, the Falcon 9 rocket, which we were able to see by tracing back many design elements from the internet, that somewhere the price should be around 50, and then manufacturing costs are in the 20 millions of right now US dollars, because the exchange rate is 1-to-1, so it doesn't matter. We don't have any exchange rate risk in the game right now. Then later we can test this. Okay, so we had similar designs, and after that we had some ideas that what kind of Starlink businesses do we have? Oh, sorry. No. One key element was missing. So we have the commercial business line here, which will generate revenues at the end of the day. And there is the Starlink launches, which is in-house. So we are building up the second leg of the company, because at the end of the day, the management realized back in at least it was in 2019 or 2018 in the presentation, that still the market is not growing enough. So they were not able to say that, okay, SpaceX can be profitable, just not profitable enough, because the bottleneck is still on the side of satellite manufacturing. Other companies like Rocket Lab, Astra, and so on move towards the direction that, okay, now they acquired, purchased, merged together with satellite manufacturers. So they are half launcher company, half satellite manufacturer company. So they moved upwards. SpaceX said that, okay, it's nice to manufacturing satellites. They are manufacturing Starlink in-house, but they are manufacturing it for themselves. So they would like to become service providers with Starlink for households and also commercial and even in the defense sector. So the second business line should be related to Starlink, and publicly what we have in this case is number of satellites, how they are growing. Also we have data about permit, but it will be easier to create just forecasting and not develop it further, because in the case of permits we are talking about 10,000s of satellites, so that would be incomprehensible for case study or for a forecast. So it's much better just to build up on the base of the existing data what we have. And the next thing what we know is the price of the services, and also approximately how much clients do they have, at least in millions, so globally. So what they can do is to tap a global market, which sometimes it's completely legalized, sometimes it's completely illegal to have Starlink connection, but still we can see that, yeah, they are providing services practically everywhere on the planet, sometimes illegally, sometimes not. So what we know that we can expectations, so we can build up expectations upon this, and this will be still quite simple because we know quantity, price, we have to multiply them. What we don't know is the manufacturing cost. Hopefully we can still dig up something from the internet, because obviously manufacturing costs should be decreasing because of economics of scale, so they are above the 10,000th Starlink satellite, so obviously they are manufacturing it in big. I mean, in the past, in the first batch of Starlink satellites, they were launching more than 60 satellites, so it was a lot based on industrial standards. And now still with the Starlink version 2 mini, still they are launching more than 20 of them. Just now the new Starlinks have laser communications between them, or at least they were testing it. Now they are starting to provide cell-to-satellite service. Originally it was all in the US, but last weekend there was some information that now in the UK it will be also available, but only for iPhone and Samsung users, and only by one cell phone provider. In this case, the cell phone provider company can extend the coverage practically for the whole country, but only text data. So Messenger, SMS, and all other text data will be available, and also with an extra subscription of £3 per month. So that's all what we know. And for the last product line, we should have Starship, which is in development, and right now it just burns money. Still we have some estimations, still we have some expectations about flights, but the problem is that this should be the year when they can reach some kind of a maturity in the case of technology, that they can not just launch and recover it with some reliability, but also going for orbit and looking for any kind of market business or market operation. So that one, it would be absolutely sketchy to model it somehow. So the two product lines are reliable, and after that still we can have fun and games by defining anything about Starship, but yeah, That would be tricky. So let's talk with Starship and Starlink, and after that we can develop this one further. So we know that this Starlink forecast was related to the launches. So this has nothing to do with the satellites itself. And now let's move. Well, let's define the second product line with Starlink. So this is a blank page, and then we can say that, okay, what we need, number of satellites with double L, then we need number of clients, fee in US dollar, and the problem is that we don't have official potential revenue data until the company is not publicly listed. So in Europe, it's really simple, especially in Hungary. If you need any data about any company, you can download their annual report, so we can have last year's profit and loss statement and balance sheet from any public and private companies. In the case of the US, they don't have this transparency, so unfortunately, it's really hard to get anything. But let's see data. We can close ChatGPT right now and the rest of the things as well. So if you are going to Starlink's website, we can see two things. So there is a residential, there is Roam. So we have an option to put it just the fixed dish somewhere, which can be moved around, but there is the second option where we can install it to a vehicle. This one is more expensive. And also there is personal and business subscription, obviously. And we have service plans. Unfortunately, everything is in Hungarian forint, but we will check the English or the US version. We can see that also there is this distinction between residential light, residential, moving, not moving, which is sad because it would be much easier if you had just one business plan. At least in case of business plans, then we can see everything between 70,000 Hungarian forints and 141,000 forints. So this is not much. Do we have... Oh yes, we have the US data. Okay, so it will be much easier to calculate with US dollars. Yeah. Okay, then let's see. So project cost is around 10 billion US dollars. At least, oh my god, this is completely unreliable. So that was mentioned in 2018 when the whole system was planned only. Okay, Gwyneth Shotwell, who is the head of the SpaceX, mentioned that they will spend something like this, but this one is not reliable data because this is not actual data or not empirical data. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. yeah, so we have now subscription data and also satellite data, which are operational, which is quite old. And of course, there is the Star Shield, which is the military or defense interpretation of the whole thing. But is there any... Oh, we can see the different legal statuses here and there. Yeah. So we have actually some data about the size of the different versions, but for us it doesn't matter much. Yes. At least we have everything from last year. So how many satellites do they have which is active? So these are numbers, just we need time series for forecasting. And also what we can see here that, yeah, so decaying and deorbited satellites are a thing. So the reason is that they put them in low Earth orbit, so they are really close to the atmosphere, and the atmospheric drag is still a thing there. So satellites, after some time, slowing down unintentionally, and also sometimes intentionally as well. So they have this really low thrust ion engines, which can be propelled by electricity and some xenon gas or other noble gas is accelerated by electricity. But before running out of fuel, they can just reorbit them, or when they can see that the satellite acts dubiously, and we can see that group 1 is still active, but we can see that a lot of them was deorbited already. So at the end of their useful lifespan, they just turn back to the atmosphere, they are burning up in the atmosphere, and then that's all. They are quite small, so it's really hard for them to reach the surface of the Earth. Usually they are just directing them towards the Pacific Ocean, and in this case cannot hit anyone. Also we can see the altitude is relatively high, but in practice atmosphere is not just up to 300 kilometers. Sometimes if the solar activity is big enough, then it can go up to 400 kilometers. So when people are afraid that, oh my god, we can pollute the whole low Earth orbit with these satellites, yes, we can do it for several years, and after that it will all fall back. So it's the real problem is above 1000 kilometer or even at geostationary orbits, which will never come back. So if we are going there, any disruption, then it will remain there for the eternity. So yeah. So this is what we have as a data, that this much satellite is there, and based on this, at least we can make some educated guess. So this number the benefit of Starship would be that they could launch not just more satellites into orbit, but way bigger satellites into orbit. So that would be practically the sole business relevance right now, because Starship is so huge. that we could cut down launch cost by multiple zeros. But the business or the use case would be that, okay, they can launch not just these satellites, but also whole data centers. So they are trying to turn this around. The heat management can be another thing, so let's focus only on the satellites itself. Also, let's define this deorbited. How much satellites we added already? Because after that, based on past data, then we can say something. And obviously I have to add this here. Data was coming from this side. Oh, and sorry, there is more. Yeah, because group 5, group 6, group 7, and so on. So still we have more active satellites, not just the third generation. This will be a bit low. In this case, they have to build up different shells, so some satellites should go this direction, some satellites should go in the opposite direction, some satellites should be not horizontal but vertical, so to cover all the possible directions. That's why this is the inclination, that which direction they are going, that way or that way. And also that satellite count, yes, now it's good, 6,000. This is what I remember. Sometimes a whole batch can die immediately, because once there was the case that there was a sun eruption, so the sun just sent out a lot of mass towards the Earth, and after launch the atmosphere expanded, so pure satellites tried to run their engines, but it was not enough and they fall back immediately, so that was a costly ride down for them. Yep. Do we have any additional data? Market effects? Don't care. Yes, we have the customer data, so this is what we have to process as well. Just right now, for reliable forecast, we have to see that, okay, what was in 2025. We need some data points at least. So anything from 2025, obviously nothing. So let's pick up the data, then at least we have to go back also by 1 year. So in September or November of 2023, practically it can be 2024 January data, so let's keep it that way. So 4,500. Then let's see what was there. Yeah, this is not active. Okay, it was 2,500 a year ago. And yeah. 5,000. So from this one we can just extrapolate the average, which is not nice because this should follow some kind of an exponential regime maybe. Is this exponential at all or just a line? Yeah, this is a line. Okay, this is not exponential. So based on this trend, we could again run this stupid forecast, but come on, we can do it better. So we can just say that, okay, let's create a graph, as I did before. Obviously, these are the years. Then we just estimate, so let's put a trend line on it. This is a line. This is not an exponential thing. So let's just add the linear line, and then let's add the equation. Because based upon this equation, now we can say that, oh, what kind of forecast do we need? We need forecast until 30. So we just have to use the estimation from here. So we have to multiply the x Is this the year or is this the coordinate? Let's see. No, this is the year. Seven? Yeah. So we just taking 1166.9 multiplied by 7 because this is the 7th year, so maybe I just have to define. So in the year of operation, and this should follow this line as well. So we can see that after that the estimation will just follow this line and it will be perfectly fit. So until a trend line behaves like a linear line, or even if it's exponential, we can do this relatively easily. So by Wikipedia, sooner or later we should have this number. Let's ask the artificial intelligence, so how much where do you get this data? Slightly more than what I have here. Come on, this is again from the same website that I'm using. So, how did you find this? Okay, this is from spade.com. So there are people who are calculating it. Ah, yes. Jonathan McDowell, he is a, I don't know, VIP or celebrity in this case because he individually estimates and calculates all satellites' orbits, doesn't matter it's private, public, US, Chinese, German, whatever, and publishes this on Twitter since beginning of times. I don't know what is his job actually, but he does this always. So if the data is coming from him, then we can believe in this. So okay, let's update my stupid numbers because this one is not valid. So this is for the end of this year. Okay, please don't send me. How many satellites did we have in orbit? January. We need okay. Let's have the lowest estimate. Sooner or later they should converge. So 4. Not yet. Again, Jonathan McDowell, so yeah. Over. Okay, let's say 3,000. I don't know where the Wikipedia data was coming from because this is my underestimation. Yeah, this is 1,800. Again, there was a difference. Then, so at the end of the day, after abandoning market data from one source and collecting it from another one, then we can see that this is not good at all. So this is proper one, this is estimation, so let's kill it. And then what we can see that this is still behaving like a line, but it's also have this curvy design. So let's think about that. Is this exponential? Not. I mean, not curvy enough. So let's think about this because the amount of satellites which can be launched reach this limit. So yeah, it's see we can say that okay, this is the equation. Now this is a different equation, so we cannot reuse the previous one, but the logic. Oh my god! So the logic should be the same. Copy you. Paste it. Multiply it by 7 minus thingy. So with a linear trend line, we should have this, and now this is Gemini. So Google related or McDowell related data, but we can see that this is much more proper. Then we should have also the number of clients. Okay, it says at the end, but right now we are focusing on the beginning of the year, so 10,000. This is where we should have exponential growth, because in this case, this is where we can scale up, and maybe we can rely on this 22 February. Yeah, this is what we have now. From a small set of people, now we have a more higher number than in okay, we don't have January data, we have December data, so let's have the December data to maintain some credibility. Then 2014, again, we don't have anything for January, but we have data for December. So now they have 2,200,000 clients. I was in the wrong place. How? Yeah, okay, it's good, because it's 24 January, okay, 2025 January. Okay, let's pick up this one. It's much better to underestimate than to overestimate. And then right now we are around 9 million. Okay, yeah, so that was the number of satellites, and this is the number of users. And I should just delete the linear trend line, and then we should go for... Why can't you go for exponential, my dear? Or polynomial. Okay, let's polynomial. You can be. Still I need the equation for that. So in this case, again, we have to copy the polynomial equation. It looks nicely. It could be exponential, just somehow it was not afforded by Office, but doesn't matter. So multiplying by the 7, then the power of 2, then multiplied by 7, and then just there is the constant. Then what do we have here? A small country. Or no, this is Poland. So how to go from Hungary as a customer base to Poland as a customer base within several years. And this is again with the same launch schedule and market expansion. So yeah. Okay. Let's see customer prices. Better Than Nothing beta program was opening in 2021, which was $99 per month. Also, there was the dish. Oh my god. I don't care about the dish. Let's focus on the service fee. Because if we are including also the startup costs, then we should highlight that, okay, who are the new customers, who are not coming back, opening, so that would create a nightmare. We are not paid enough to work with that one, so we can say that, okay, it's 99. But this is monthly, so let's please multiply it by 12, and then we can see that, okay, this is in US dollars annually. Then 2022. How much Starlink costs per month for a customer in 2022? Now there is inflation, so it increased to 110. Obviously, at the beginning, it was not much as a coverage. People were really happy because if you are living in the middle of nowhere and you don't have any proper internet, then this is what we can have. But or compared to the competition, they were not worse. Okay, now they were differentiating between everything, so we can see that there was a expensive, there was the middle one, then there is the cheap. So let's go with the with this one, and then 2004. Somehow it was not changing. 2005. It can be everywhere. The standard full speed and so on is still the same, so we can say that now they don't want to increase prices, so let's check the last one. Yeah. Oh, there is a speed cap. We can keep it that way. What we can do is factor in inflation, so consumer price index expectations. Later on we can play with that one. Just right now let's build this up, and then let's see that how much money can we earn with this one. So we know that number of clients multiplied by the service fee. This is what we can earn. This is what we can earn in US dollars to put internet into the sky. Then, okay, this is where things can go south. So how much Starlink satellites cost? Yeah. So around from this to this. Obviously, we have two numbers. What can we do with them? Then let's calculate the average. So plus divided by 2. I can't say this is the best, but this is the best what we can have as an educated guess. So, yeah. Then let's see. For 2022, do we have anything? Mhm. So at least we can say that now it became a bit cheaper. The ideal would be to have some kind of a time series where we can again. Oh. Starlink, again this source. Yeah, but now they build up the more expensive ones. Okay. Additional 0. Yeah, this is way too much. 4. Yeah. Now it's just 1 million per each. Thanks, guys. Hmm. Doesn't talk about satellites anymore. Okay, so let's keep it at 1 million. Or how much? Starlink. Okay. That's yeah. So we can keep this 1 million. So obviously, production costs. So this number multiplied by number of satellites. Mhm. Because the problem is that this is only about the active ones, but not. This is not the manufacturing costs. Oh, I messed it up. Because until we are just focusing on the active ones, we are ignoring what was launched and then lost in the procedure. Uh, Okay, later we can work this around. Right now, let's integrate all these things into the profit and loss statement because this can be crucial. So, at the end of the day, this is what we have under costs. So this is gray, and this is what we have as revenues. This can be green. Yes. Okay, so let's integrate everything into this one. I know I did this last time, but let's ignore this. So, revenue generation. Number of F-noun launches. Commercial launches, sorry. Because only commercial launches will generate profit for us at the end of the day. So this is purple, English color for me. Also, let's change this from 2026 and so on. Right now we are trying to forecast until 2030. Then, number of commercial launches by Falcon 9. This one. Also, let's give this coloring this color here. However, in the case of number of total missions, we have to add together that, okay, Starlink and total. So this is one kind of a purple, and that one should be light purple. Just in this case, we can see with the color coding that which one is what. So, because these stages must be manufactured, must be maintained, and so on. So, from production point of view, it doesn't matter that something is going for commercial or internally as Starlink. But this is only what generates us money, the other one is not. Okay, probability of gaining revenue, yes, it's high. And this is what we can revenue from commercial launches. From Falcon 9 commercial launches. Then, then also what we need is Starlink. So revenues from Starlink. So Starlink customer base, unit price, and then in this case we don't have probability of realizing revenue because hopefully it not explode. And I mean the data in progress and our customers. So at the end of the day, from Starlink. Again, these are estimations, expectations, which are not perfect, but we don't have better data. And all of you will be revenue generation. So Starlink customer data is coming from number of clients, so this 9 million people, and so on. Okay. Yeah, but we are talking about millions. So sorry, we have to divide it by million. Then the numbers became more manageable. The unit price. Unit price should be the same. I mean, not for everybody, but for each year we should define them and also divide by 1 million. Because once we are playing with inflation, then we can play with the inflation here for this function. Okay, revenues from Starlink. Then after that, we just have to multiply with this, with that one. What did I mess up? Uh, okay. Okay, so revenues from Starlink, this should be green. Revenues from commercial launches. Again, still, the NASA launches are missing from here. I mean, human launches. But that would be, again, leading us far. So let's focus on simpler stuff. Not 4 launches in a year or potentially 3 launches in a year with all the extra costs. I don't think that human launches can be much profitable. So I think it's around margin of 0. This is only an educated guess, just, yeah. Okay, so number of manufactured first stages. First stage manufacturing, second stage manufacturing. It's easier. Okay, product F9. I mean, where do you come from? Key 21. Did we update this one? Key 21. We updated it. And also I remember that we played somehow with, yeah, relaunch limits, and then, okay, this one was also already landed. So, yeah, this is valid. We have to build only 5. 5 first stages should be built for launch 200 cargoes. Okay. Second stage. No, this is wrong. This should come from, again, product F9 and the number of missions. Yeah, because here second stage manufacturing completely covers everything from each year. Why do we need this? We need this because this is what determines that, okay, these are the numbers, and this is the actual cost. Is this a proper data? G3. G3. What can be recovered? Engine, body, and also the fairing, because they are fishing this out. So, okay. Good. Let's check the G5. This is G5. Second stage, engine, body, fuel, and no fairing at all. So good, so these are proper numbers here. I don't want to deal with this gross profit margin. This is where we are just adding Starlink. Starlink manufacturing expenses. Divided by 1 million. And this is not percentage anymore, this is number. Oh, this is 1 0 more than necessary. Okay. These numbers are so strange. Is this? Yeah, this is number D9. Oh, because this should be age. Age. Now this is parallel. Yeah, with the revenues. So these are our expenditures. Now we combined in Falcon 9. Oh, what we have no idea is the wages. I don't think that we will have anything like this, but wage costs at SpaceX. Yeah. The problem is that we can see the unit price, I mean, for people in different categories, but we don't have anything about total. So the payroll is maybe $7 million US. Okay. Right now this is constant. Again, we will play with inflation. Yeah, source of data is Reddit. Oh, come on. This is so miserable. In your feed, we would just download the data and then we would have it. But okay, depreciation. Now that's the next thing. How can we calculate depreciation for a SpaceX-like entity? Obviously, in this case, we have to manage assets. And in this case, we have no idea how much property do they have, how much long-term assets do they have, practically nothing. And most of the hardware can be related to manufacturing of the rockets, can be related to manufacturing of the satellites, can be related to manufacturing of Falcon 9, Starship. They are different launch sites. Phew. Yeah. Unfortunately, in this case, we have no idea about the property. So, so that this is the hard part because intangibles doesn't matter. They don't have depreciation. Investments also, they can be zeroed out, but ignoring depreciation, which is the best tax shield, it would be huge negligence. And let's see at least what do we have right now. So, a bit. Revenues from, well, let's recalculate everything because it's a mess. So, green, revenues from Starlink plus, revenues from Falcon 9 commercial launches minus cost of, okay, we have to modify this to Falcon 9, cost to manufacturing expenses, minus wages, minus depreciation. We could enjoy this. So, cost of I think that still this is kind of an optimistic scenario, but it is what it is. We should have some data about cash reserves, but we obviously don't have right now. So let's zero this out. After that, they start to accumulate what they have. Also, inventories, we don't have any data. And let's remove intangibles. So, if they are just reinvesting the money what they earned last at the end of the year, we can see that this is what they can have. Right now, hedging expenditure 0, paid lease 0. I know that they made 20-year-long lease contracts with NASA to use their launch pad at Cape Canaveral, so we can dig up that one. But for example, they are using many long-term assets like cranes and utility vehicles to move stuff around at manufacturing places. With also long-term lease contracts, just we don't have no idea what the price is. So we can have some estimations based on pictures, photos, and other data if we are crazy enough to collect it. Financial profit. Also, we don't have. We have data about the debt. So right now, let's zero this out. You as well. We have that data. Current liabilities should be zeroed. Let's remove all biases. This other category was inherited from Arianespace, so we don't care about you. Common shares, we have data about that one. Retained earnings, okay, this is coming from the case study itself, so it doesn't matter. So right now we don't have any financial position here, pre-tax profit. And then CIT. Oh, corporate income tax. I know that they moved their taxation in Texas because there was a scandal about it as usual. Wow, they don't have corporate income tax or individual income tax. What? Uh-huh. Cool. Okay, do they have any federal tax rate? 21%. Okay. I think that was the reason why they went into the Texas instead of California. Yep. So if yeah, so you can see that in Texas it was 0, in California it's 8.8%, which is terrible. From US mindset, from in Europe this is Wednesday. So okay, dividend. They are not paying dividend, at least officially, so we can say that this one can be set to 0 instead of 0.2. Everything should be reinvested. And this is what we have. Not this one, this one. We have to go back to whole space. And today we should start to work on corporate valuation with DCF model, and I spent most of my time with playing with SpaceX data. Anyway, what we have to do next week and this week as well is just to fill up this valuation thingy sheet in Excel, because we just need data from EBIT and then based on this thing. So that's why we need depreciation data. I will start to dig in and find something for SpaceX. Spending on investment, it will be heavily driven by depreciation. We need also, but at the end of the day, what we will have here is the free cash flow. So what kind of money can we earn if we are removing tax payments, if we are removing spending on investments, adding depreciation and adding floating capital, which requires that we have to understand that how short-term liabilities and short-term assets are related to each other. Then we have to define the weighted average cost of capital. This will be the next step. So we have to understand how shareholders' equity and how debt is related to each other. Most of the funding at SpaceX is coming from shareholders' equity, but many of this is a convertible bond. So right now they are behaving like a bond, but upon some predefined conditions, so based upon options, they can be converted to equity. Mostly we don't know how, what are these options are, but at least we have idea about their quantity. So we can define what is the ratio of E and D, and yeah, that's all what we know. And after that, from CAPM, you can remember your dreams about corporate finance, and then based on this one, we can determine what is the expected rate of return from a company, from equity, based upon the long-term interest rates, based upon market returns, the beta, which is luckily coming from the Damodaran database, so this one is official, and then we will link something to here to the depth, and after that we will calculate the present value of the cash flow. And then salvage value, property, intangible cash, so every asset's value in the far future, and then we can see that that was the value of equity. So this is the strategy for next week. It will be really simple for companies like Ariane, because all the data is here, and we will try to make it simple also for or SpaceX like entity. Yeah. Okay, so before I forget, I must update